Hey, Robin.
Need to unmute. How are you?
Oh, good. How about y'all?
We got my friend still stuck here, so.
Yay! I know probably not yay for you, but
You know, I'm pretty happy to be stuck in Colorado, so.
yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. A little spotlight there was making me look like I was, doing a ghost story. So let me see. No.
Any weather in Georgia?
No, it's right now it's been warmer today than it has been, so that's been good. Tonight it's supposed to start raining again, which I just keep on telling people, it's the rain season in Georgia apparently. Like they have on the safari. So it's kind of frustrating in a way. I'm tired of the rain.
Yeah.
It gets a little old, but I know when summer comes that I'll be appreciative of all the rain.
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to drop back down into like the 20s, I think, or 30s and 20s on Friday.
Wow.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Do y'all have any kind of pillow or bolster that you might be able to grab, like something that you could lie down on at a certain time and it might elevate your back slightly?
Oh, we have blankets.
Blankets we can roll up, is that okay?
Perfect.
Perfect. We could LSU.
Y'all just let me know when you're ready.
We're ready. I'm just getting organized here. Is it just us?
Yep, it's just y'all tonight.
All right.
It's always nice and intimate that way. So, like I was saying the other night, I do like intentions for my classes. I've been working on a chakra series, the energy bodies that lie within the body. So I started at, of course, the bottom with the root, and then I did the sacral and then the solar plexus. And this week we are at the heart chakra. I always like to give the disclaimer that energy bodies are not something that you can, open yourself up and find inside your body like when you die. When they do an autopsy, they cannot find those within your body. And it's not something that I expect everybody to believe in. It's something that I believe in, so I never like to push that on anybody, but it's just something for my own personal practice and my own personal beliefs. So I just like to pass on the information that I've received, which a lot of it has come from my sister, so and other guides along the way. And so the heart chakra is obviously our center of love and compassion, and where we feel that the most. So if we are in balance there, those are the emotions we feel. We feel love and empathy, compassion, we'll feel all these, all the good things. But if there's an imbalance there, we might feel like not empathetic, we might feel jealous, we might feel critical. So there's going to be things that are going to be out of balance with those areas, which I know that just being a part of the human experience, we have those, we have those imbalances, we have those times where we go through that we might not feel totally up to par, but we really want to look for the drastic imbalances. So tonight we'll be focused on that heart center, especially in the postures. So just feel free to focus on that area, even if you don't believe in the energy bodies or the chakra system. You can just focus on maybe sending love to somebody that that maybe needs a whole lot of it right now. I think we all know somebody that needs that, especially during these times. So to begin, we'll stay in Sukhasana, our easy pose. And sit up tall, head over heart and heart over pelvis to start to connect to the breath. Soften the gaze and close the eyes. Start by inhaling through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. We'll inhale, followed by the exhale. Stay here for a few more rounds on your own, setting and sealing the intention of your choice. Allow the shoulders to continue to soften their way away from the ears. And clenching the jaw. And furrowing your brow. We'll do about 3 more breaths here. Start to bat the eyelashes open. Coming back into your space. Awesome. So we're going to take the legs wide to begin, coming into our wide-legged position. The left hand is going to come down to the shin. We're just going to wrap that right arm back behind us and try to tuck it into the top of that left hip crease if we can, to open up through the chest and really stretch out through that right shoulder. So reach down as far as you can on the chin, even clasping the ankle, rotate the chest slightly up towards the ceiling and gaze up towards the ceiling. It's a very slight rotation in the torso. Keep the thigh bones grounded down and the toes flexed up towards the ceiling. Good. If it starts to become too much of a deep shoulder stretch on you, you can always back out with that right hand and just come into the center of the back. Glide the shoulder blades down the back of the body, really softening those shoulders away from the ears. Two more breaths here. On the inhale, release the posture. Exhale when you get back to center. So we'll switch sides. Right hand will come to the top of the right shin. Left hand will come to the top of that right hip crease. Maybe reach that hand a little bit further once you get that hand to the top of the hip crease. Rotate that left shoulder back to open up through the chest and breathe. Awesome. Be sure you're not locking out the knees, but maintaining the softness in the backs of the knees as you keep those toes flexed up towards the ceiling. Last breath here. On an inhale, start to come out of this posture. Exhale when you get there. We're going to bring the feet together, toes and heels to touch, coming into Baddha Konasana or butterfly posture. So we'll take the heels in as close as we'd like, or even taking them out further in front of us to maybe make a diamond type shape. Take the hands behind you, either palms face in or palms face out, depending on how much of a stretch you want throughout the shoulders and the chest. And then we just lift the chest and gaze up towards the ceiling. Softness in the elbows, not locking them out. Good. Take about 4 more breaths here, keeping that active lift in the chest.
Oops. Sorry, technical difficulties.
No worries, they happen all the time. On the inhale, start to come out of the posture, lifting the hands up off the mat. Exhale when you get to the top. Maybe shake the hands out a little bit. I always have trouble with my hands going a little asleep a little bit in that posture. So I always welcome that. And you can even press the hands in either direction with the fingertips. I even like to take them into the mat on both sides. Whenever you're satisfied, keeping the feet together in this Baddha Konasana or butterfly posture, we're just going to come into a forward fold from here just to counter the posture we just did. So we'll inhale, sit up tall, and then on the exhale, leading with the chest, taking the nose down towards the toes or finding a slight hover. Option is up to you. Make it as gentle or as intense as you would like. Maintain length in the back of the neck. about 4 more breaths here. And on the inhale, start to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae until the head is the last thing to come up. Awesome. Bringing the knees together now. Take the hands outside the hips and just windshield wiper the legs back and forth. When you're done, come up off the hands, swing the legs to the side to come into a tabletop position. Stacking shoulders over the wrist bones, hips over the knees. Placing a blanket underneath the knees if you need to. Press firmly into the backs of the feet as we move through a few cycles of cat-cow. So we'll inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round through the spine, find the navel to spine connection. Allow the chin to come into the chest. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Awesome. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round through the spine. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhaling. And exhale. Inhale as you come through to that neutral spine position. We're just going to extend the right leg out long and press firmly into the ball mound of that foot and maybe find some little pulses here. Really stretching out through the calf. Keep the chest radiating forward. Softly rolling the shoulders away from the ears. We'll bring the right knee back in, and then we'll extend the left leg on the inhale and do the same thing. Bring the left knee back to the right, next to the right. And then we're going to tuck the toes, send the hips back and up to come into a downward facing dog. Just very gently bicycling the legs. Then on an inhale, plant the right foot in between the hands or as close to in between the hands as you can. Have the left foot on a slight angle. We're going to lift up slowly using the muscles in our legs and exhale when we get to the top. Awesome. So I have a few options here as we come into this pyramid posture. You can interlace the hands behind the back of the body and only lift the chest and keep strong legs. Or you can exhale, take it all the way down, chin towards your shin, and allow the head to come in. It's your practice. You're allowed to be where you are. You can even just take the hands down low and frame them around the foot and keep the gaze forward. On an inhale, start to rise up as you're folded, using the muscles in the legs, drawing the inner thighs together. Exhale when you get to the top. So from here, we'll just pivot the feet towards the back of the mat to kind of do the opposite side. If you need to readjust the hands to interlace them a little bit better, feel free to do so, because I know my hands slip very easily. You'll inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, take the chin down towards the shin, or stay tall or hands around the either side of the foot. Awesome. On an inhale, start to press into that front foot, drawing those inner thighs together to lift yourself up. And release the hands and shake them out. Come back facing the front of the mat as you do so. Coming into Tadasana or mountain pose. So the feet can be hip distance or feet can be together. It's completely your personal choice. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And then left wrist comes to right wrist. And then we'll rotate the chest open, reaching the right hand towards your left side. Good. On an inhale, we'll come back up. Exhale when you get there. Switch sides, right hand comes to the left wrist. We'll inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take it over to the right. Awesome. On an inhale, start to rise back up. Exhale, when you get to the top, release the hands by the side. Good. So we're going to come into Gomukhasana arms, which is called cow-facing arms in English. Gomukhasana just sounds a lot more fancy. So what we're going to do is I'll turn around so you can see. If you have a strap, you can use it, or you can even just use your shirt. It works perfectly fine, or a towel. So if you have a strap or a towel, we're going to take the right hand and face it inward in between the shoulder blades. Then we'll take the left hand, find an internal rotation of that hand, and start to walk the hands toward each other and see if you can clasp. You can take this as deep or as you like. It does not matter if you come into the full expression. Just all I want you to do here is just to have the opening of the chest for the focus of our class tonight. Good. Awesome. And release. Releasing the hands. We'll hug the chest. So bring the hands and wrap the arms around the front of the body. before we switch sides. So this time we'll take the strap in the left hand or towel, or whatever we need to use, and pat ourselves on the back, find the internal rotation of that right arm, trying to grab the strap, and maybe walk the hands up towards one another. Or you can stay where you are tonight. This side's always tighter for me. Yeah. And release the strap. Placing it by your side. And again, wrap the arms around the front of the body, maybe switching which arm is on top, just to counter that posture. And to give yourself a nice big hug. On an exhale, we'll release the hands beside the body. Then we'll inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Then on the exhale, start to hinge at the hips to come into that forward fold position. Whether the hands be on the shins, the quads, or the route at the base of the floor. We'll inhale, halfway lift, flat back position. And then we'll exhale, step the feet back into our downward facing dog. Then breathe here for 5 breaths before coming back down to the mat. On your inhale, roll over the toes to bring the knees back down to the mat, scooching them out behind us to lower yourself all the way down very slowly, lowering yourself down to the mat, keeping the elbows tucked in. Then we're going to inhale, lift up for Cobra Pose. Hold here for 2 breaths. Exhale down. We'll inhale, lift up, Cobra. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale down. Last one, inhale, lift up. Exhale down. From here, what I want you to do is shift the hips back to come into a child's pose. So take the knees as wide as the mat, toes to touch. Send the hips towards the heels, melt the chest towards the mat, followed by the head. Staying in this child's pose, we're going to do thread the needle in child's pose. So if you need to lift up out of it slightly, please do so. Just maybe hinging the hips forward slightly. Then take the right arm, slide it underneath that right armpit as you radiate the chest slightly up towards the ceiling, lengthening that left arm out in front of you, placing that right ear down onto the mat. Then maybe sink the hips back towards the heels once again. On your inhale, use that left hand drawing it back to press into it. Lift the right arm out and up and bring it back down towards the mat. And we'll switch sides. So right arm is going to lengthen out long. Then we'll lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. And then exhale and bring it through underneath the right armpit, followed by the left ear. I got my left and my right ear mixed up for a second. Then sink the hips back towards the heels. On an inhale, start to draw that left arm back underneath the right, bringing it back down to the mat. Send the hips forward, taking the knees back up underneath the hips, coming back into your tabletop position. We're going to take the legs to the side to come back down onto our sitting bones briefly. When my lefts and my rights get mixed up, it just is, it's all over. So come into that Sukhasana position. We'll take the right hand outside the right hip. We're going to lift that left arm up towards the ceiling. And then on the exhale, we're going to take it up and over. You also have the option of bringing that right elbow down to the mat as you extend that left arm past the left ear. Just make sure you keep the left hip tacked down if you take that option. On the inhale, start to rise up. And exhale when you get to the top. Let's switch sides, left hand outside the left hip. Inhale, lift the right arm up. And on the exhale, take it up and over. Really finding that expansion in the chest here. And on the inhale, start to rise up. Exhale when you get to the top. We're gonna take a seated twist before coming to lying flat onto our backs. So right hand comes outside the right hip, left hand comes outside that right knee. We'll inhale, sit up tall, and on the exhale, we'll twist. Roll the right shoulder back and down as you gaze over that right shoulder. On the inhale, come through center. Exhale when you get there. Left hand outside the left hip, right hand outside the left knee. We'll inhale, sit up tall, and then on the exhale, we'll twist. Left shoulder goes back and down as you gaze over that left shoulder. On an inhale, come back through center. Exhale when you get there. So we'll uncross the legs. We did it the other night, so if y'all want to rock and roll up and down on your spine to get flat onto your backs, please feel free to do so. Have your blanket or your bolster or whichever you have near you, like up towards the top of the mat. So if you would like to hug the knees into the chest, sit up tall, and then rock and roll up and down the spine as few or as many times as you would like. And when you're satisfied, see, it's fun. It's addicting. And if you're single, it's like your own back massage. That's why I do it. So from here, what we'll do, we'll come into a few bridge postures. So the knees are going to be bent. The feet will be parallel towards the front of the mat, facing the front of the mat, hands outside the hips. We're just going to inhale, scoop the tailbone, lift the hip points up towards the ceiling, and hold here. Breathing deeply, chest is radiating up towards the ceiling. And release on the exhale. We're going to do 2 more like that. So inhale, scoop the tailbone, lift the hip points up towards the ceiling. Radiating that chest, opening up through the heart. And release. Windshield wiper the legs back and forth before we do this last one. Just to loosen up through the hips. Bring the knees back through center, place the hands back outside the hips if they're not already there. We'll inhale, lift the hip points up towards the ceiling, actively engaging the glutes and the quads, pressing into all 4 quarters of the feet. And release all the way down to the mat. Hug the knees into the chest, wrap the arms around the shins, and just give yourself a nice big hug. Release, bringing the feet back down to the mat. Lengthen the left leg out long, but I want you to hug that right knee in with the hands wrapped around the front of the shin. And just hug it in towards the chest. Breathing deeply. On the exhale, take that right knee towards the right armpit, just opening up through the interior part of the leg. Then on the inhale, bring it back through center. And on the exhale, take that right knee up and over to come into a supine twist, so allow it to fully come across the body as you gaze over the right shoulder. On your inhale, bring that right knee back through center. Exhale when you get there. So we'll lengthen the right leg out, drawing the left knee in, clasping the front of that shin, and just hugging it into the chest. Good. On an exhale, take that left knee up and over towards the left armpit, and then hug it in again, just opening again through that inside of that left leg. Now on the exhale, and on the inhale, bring it back through center. Then on the exhale, take it over the right leg completely, coming into your supine twist as you gaze over that left shoulder. On an inhale, come back through center. Exhale when you get there. Before we enter our last posture, before Shavasana, we're gonna come into Happy Baby. So bring the feet up towards the ceiling, clasp the inside or outside of the feet, and just peel the hip bones up and then, I can't even talk right now. Peel the glutes up towards the ceiling. Good. Last breath here. Hug the knees into the chest. Bring the feet back down towards the mat. For the last posture before Shavasana, it's going to be a heart opener. We'll stay here for several minutes, so we'll be holding this posture a lot longer. I'm going to give you two options. It's bringing the blankets folded up underneath you for either Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly, or you can just do reclining fish posture, Mayasana, and just bring the blanket towards the sacrum, and then just allow the chest to fall open and allow the arms to fall open. Or if you would like to bring the feet in, you can come into Supta Baddha Konasana, have the arms wide, or relaxing onto the belly. The option is completely up to you. You can use this time maybe for a slight meditation to allow the world to wash away, thoughts to float by. The mind to surrender. Starting to transition into Shavasana, you have the option to stay in supported fish posture or Supta Baddha Konasana. The option is up to you, but if you do not wish to stay here, you can remove whatever you have underneath you, whether it be a blanket or a pillow or bolster, and lay flat on your back. You like to take the legs wide and the arms wide. Please feel free to do so. Allow the eyes to continue to fall heavy into the back of the skull. As you unfurrow the brow and loosen the jaw, allow the mind to find stillness. Arm bones start to grow heavy into the mat. Belly is soft as the chest radiates up towards the ceiling, shining that heart space so strongly. Abdomen softens, and so do the hips. Upper parts of the legs flowing down to the lower parts of the calves, all the way to the ankles. Start to relax. Press heavy into your mat. Feel a release all the way down to your toes. As you rest in Shavasana.